Hey folks, this is Kalani. We have a whole bunch of class buffs and nerfs to talk about this week, and it seems like the previous rounds of nerfs just weren't enough because there are some familiar classes and specs here that are getting a double whammy of the nerf bat. There are more changes for the 10.1.7 PTR to go over, and there's a special time-limited dragon riding event going on that gives you the rare opportunity to dragon ride in the old world. There's a lot to talk about, so let's break it all down. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. Let's kick things off with those class changes, because we have even more nerfs coming through with the next weekly reset, but also some nerfs to talk about on the 10.1.7 PTR. We'll do the live server stuff first, because I know that's what most folks are interested in. All of these changes are going to go live with the next weekly reset on August 22nd. So Guardian Druids are getting nerfed once again. This time the absorb granted by Ursoc's Fury is being reduced down to 45% of damage dealt from 50%, so less survivability there, but they're also going to see a nerf to Innate Resolve's bonus to Frenzied Regeneration. That's going to be reduced down to 120% from 150%. With these nerfs in play, Guardian is going to be a bit less tanky, which might give some other tanks some more playtime at the higher levels of Mythic plus Keystones especially. Demon Hunters have a curious change this week. I-Beam and Fell Devastation will no longer be interrupted by school lockout effects, which seems very specific and kind of odd. It's going to make those spells more reliable to cast and just make it harder to interrupt them. Now before we continue, today's video is sponsored by Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 is a free-to-start MMORPG focused on fun gameplay, not constant grinding. The base game is completely free with no subscription, so you can play through all of that content to experience what Guild Wars 2 has to offer without any cost or price tag. The next expansion, Secrets of the Obscure, is releasing on August 22nd, bringing all new content, new powerful systems updates, and more flexibility in combat style. The content will continue to flow with new quarterly updates, so you'll always have something to look forward to right around the corner. One of the most unique and fun differences you can find in Guild Wars 2 is how the mounts work. Mounts aren't just another collectible. Each mount has its own special way of helping you get from place to place, whether that's running faster, jumping higher, or soaring through the sky. Mounts in Guild Wars 2 can really change up how you traverse the land. One of the most popular mounts, the Sky Scale, will now also be easier to acquire for everyone. So click the link in the description to pre-purchase now and secure exclusive rewards including an Arcane Spellweaver's Hat skin, an Eagle Eye weapon of your choice, the Demon Hunter title, and a max level boost. So it's a great time to hop into Guild Wars 2 and start your adventures today. Mages are on the chopping block once again for maybe the third or fourth time in a row, it feels like. Fire Mage is still too strong, especially in AoE scenarios, so we're going to see some more nerfs there. Flame Strike damage is down 6%, Flame Patch damage is down 8%, Incendiary Flames can only proc once every 10 seconds instead of every 8 seconds, and Conflagration damage is being nerfed by 10% on top of everything else. So more large AoE nerfs coming through for Fire Mage to try and knock them off that top Mythic plus Dungeon DPS spot. It's not all bad news this week though. Mistweaver monks are getting some more buffs. Ancient Teachings has been buffed up to 150% from 135%. Yulon's Grace can now stack up to 15% of max health and stacks 3% per second. Chikakun's Absorb has been increased by a whopping 100%, and then Enveloping Breath's Healing was decreased by 12%. So shifting things around a bit, but some big buffs in there for Mistweaver. Now getting back to the nerfs, Holy Paladins are getting knocked down yet another peg with a 10% damage nerf, because I guess they're still dealing way too much damage for the healer role with everything else that they bring in consideration. Blessing of Summer was also nerfed again, down to 20%, though it does remain at 30% for PvP combat. I'll be honest, the nerfs will probably continue for both Guardian Druid and Holy Paladin until we see a shift in the higher Mythic plus Dungeon composition. Rogues make the list this week as well, with some more buffs for Assassination. All ability damage is being bumped up by 5%, and all auto attack damage is also being increased by 5%, so Assassination rogues will hopefully be doing a bit better as we head into next week. And then the last class on the list of live server changes this week are the Warriors. Protection will see a reduction to defensive stance damage reduction from 10% down to 5%. Spell Reflection's damage reduction was increased up to 25% from 20%, and then Vanguard's stamina increase was bumped up to 35% from 30%. So a bit of give and take there for the Prot Warriors this week. That's all of the live server changes coming with the next weekly reset, but there are also some changes with this week's PTR build. Well, I say some changes, it's actually just one change. Restoration Druids will see a flat 6% nerf to all of their healing, but this nerf is kind of a preemptive attempt at balancing for some new talents coming in 10.1.7. So the plan for this is to be a bit of a net neutral change, so it shouldn't really change their overall performance, but we'll see how the numbers settle when the patch goes live. With so many nerfs coming through for top Mythic plus classes and specs, the dev team have actually just decided to nerf the overall difficulty of high-level Mythic plus dungeons for the rest of Season 2. For any key above level 20, so this is definitely at the higher end, this isn't really going to affect the vast majority of players doing Mythic plus, but for any key above level 20, the additional scaling per key level is going to be reduced down to 8% from 10%. So as you push higher, the keys will actually be easier when compared to the start of Season 2. It seems like this will only be for the end of Season 2 though, as the blue post states the change will be in effect until the start of Season 3. So when Season 3 starts, we might just go back to that flat 10% per level, even above level 20. We'll just have to kind of wait and see what happens. Season 3 is going to start up in patch 10.2, which will arrive sometime later this year after 10.1.7 goes up on September 5th. So the content train is moving along, and I would expect to see the first hints of a patch 10.2 PTR in the next few weeks. Now moving on, a brand new event started up this week on live servers, the Kalimdor Cup. During this event we can dragon ride out in the old world. Sort of. Various Kalimdor zones will have dragon riding races available for you to take on, and from what I've seen, this does seem to be in most zones. When you look at a zone and you see the checkered flag icon, that's a new dragon riding race for you to attempt. You can only dragon ride as part of a race, so it's still quite restricted right now, and you do have to use normal flying mounts to get between the races, but hopefully we'll have an actual fully open dragon riding opportunity for the old world sometime in the near future. Each race you complete will earn you some Riders of Azeroth badges. You can get one badge per colour rating, so one for bronze, one for silver and one for gold. So if you manage to get the gold time on your first run through, you'll get 3 badges straight away. Each race also has 3 different modes: normal, advanced and reverse. Each mode gives its own badges, so if you get gold in all 3 modes, you can earn up to 9 badges per race you compete in. There are 16 races spread across the Kalimdor continent, which should give you a total of 144 available badges if you can get gold every single race in all 3 modes. The badge rewards from each race also seems to be character specific, so you can head out on a different character and complete the races again to earn even more badges. These badges can be used to purchase some cool items from a vendor in Valdrakken. The vendor is right next to the dragon riding customization area, so it's super easy to find. You can buy 3 different dragon riding manuscripts to unlock new customization options for your dragon riding drakes, and then there's also a Drake Racers transmog set which looks really cool. It's pretty much the exact gear from the first Dragonflight cinematic, so that's a nice touch, and if you love to dragon ride, I can't think of a better transmog set for you. The entire set is a little expensive, so you'll need to be acing those Kalimdor races if you want to buy it all up during this event. If you want to change which mount is used for your races in the old world, you can talk to Lord Andestraz right next to the vendor, and he will give you the option to use any of the 5 dragon riding drakes that you have. This event will run until August 28th, so if you want to get your hands on any of these goodies, you do have a limited time frame to get that done. It's worth noting that patch 10.1.7 will bring another dragon riding event, the Eastern Kingdoms Cup, and when that one pops up, the same vendor will be available with all the same stuff and some extra goodies as well. During that event you won't be able to do the Kalimdor races, but we will have a whole other set of races for the Eastern Kingdom zones, so that'll be fun zooming through some of your favourite Eastern Kingdom zones later on. So don't fret if you don't get enough badges to buy everything this time around. We will have at least one more chance relatively soon to finish up the Drake Riders transmog set or collect all of the Drake customizations. But that's all of the updates we have for this week for both live servers and the PTR. It's been a bit of a slow week this week, but that's not too surprising considering patch 10.17 is just a couple of weeks away at this point, and I'm sure the testing cycle for the next major patch 10.2 will start ramping up very quickly. If you remember back to 10.1, that actually hit the PTR servers before 10.07 launched, so we'll have plenty of content to look forward to soon. What do you think of the same classes still needing more nerfs? Should the dev team buff up some other classes to help the competition? Or do classes and specs like Fire Mage just need a few more nerfs to knock them off their top spot? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you'd like to add your name to the end of every video with a special shout out at the start of the next video, you can find links in the description over to Patreon or click the join button just below this video. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.